Alright everyone, welcome back to another video. Last time we left off with the Japanese driving on Manila. Or not Manila. I keep saying Manila, I mean to say Malaya. My bad. Now we're on to Bia Salam and Hellia surrender to the Allies. January 2nd to 17th, 1942. Axis garrison surrenders. The town of Bardia, which had been occupied by the New Zealanders on November 22nd and reoccupied by the enemy on December 1st, surrendered unconditionally to British and Imperial forces on January 2nd after a brilliant attack in which Polish and Free French forces took part. More than 7,000 Axis prisoners were taken, including Major General Schmidt, administrative head of the Afrika Corps. British casualties were only 60 killed and 300 wounded. Having reduced Bardia, the British forces turned their attention to the strong enemy positions covering Hellia, last remaining pocket of enemy resistance in Krechnia. On the 12th, they captured Salom, and 5 days later, Hellia itself surrendered after putting up a stiff resistance. Here, a further 5,000 prisoners were taken, together with the large quantities of guns and materials. The pictures show above, on the left, Axis prisoners outside Bardia waiting to be taken to prisoners' camps. And you can see just from this small little bit, they captured a lot of prisoners here. Yeah, Africa starts to fall, and they don't really get they don't get to where they wanted in Africa. This is, it's kind of showing on all sides that the war is starting to turn against the Axis, and they'll just keep losing and losing and losing eventually here, and it'll just be a snowball. Left some 300 prisoners captured at Salom. Oh, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Above and the below left, the Axis surrendering at Hellia. Here they are surrendering at Hellia. Also, I kind of got these pictures actually mixed up, which is my bad, because how they usually do it is they do it top left, then bottom left, then top right, then bottom right, or just right. Well, actually, this is the picture showing the prisoners waiting to be taken to a prisoner camp. This is showing the 300 prisoners captured at Salom. So, these are all just from Salom. Sure. Assault on Mojaisk. Hooded Russian infantry, clad from head to foot in white to make them invisible against the snow, are here seen. Oh boy, I have to actually go on this because I can't see it. Are here seen approaching Mojaisk during the final stages of the Russian assault on the town. So there we can see all the Soviets getting ready to attack the town. But it says, Russians recapture Mojaisk. Although the Russians had succeeded in driving the Germans out of Kalinin and Kaluga, thereby removing the pincer threat to Moscow from the north and south, the enemy force in Mojaisk in the center fought desperately to retain this important position, which they had won at great cost on December 6th. On January 15th, the Russians launched their assault on the town, and after bitter street fighting, in which the Germans defended themselves house by house, the Nono Germans were forced to retreat, and the town, which Funny Mustache Man ordered his troops to hold at all costs, was recaptured. Yeah. There were a lot of these kind of like orders from Funny Mustache Man where he would say like, oh, we have to hold it all times, but the people on the ground are like, no, we just can't do that. It's not possible. And this is one of those instances. It's just not possible. His thinking was that we are the mighty imperial, or not imperial, but the mighty German army. We can do anything, but everyone has their limits. Japanese advance into Burma gets underway. January 20th, 1942. Fighting begins in Burma. On January 20th, Japanese and Thai forces crossed the frontier into Burma, and fighting occurred north of Mewati, 60 miles east of Mulmine. In face of a numerically superior enemy, the British forces were obliged to fall slowly back towards Mulmine. The enemy used strong air forces to support his offensive, but fighters of the RAF and the American volunteer groups inflicted heavy losses on the raiders. Above, Japanese infantry, some of whom are equipped with cycles, are seen crossing a river by a temporary bridge, the main structure having been destroyed by the British before they retired. So there we can see. And yeah, some of them have cycles, which kind of look a little goofy just because like some of them are carrying them and others aren't. And yeah, there's like a temporary bridge right there. It's just a little plank because the main bridge has been obliterated, which they don't want the Japanese crossing. So fine, you don't get that bridge and you'll have to build a bridge. Slow them down as much as possible. Japanese land on Borneo and New Britain. January 22nd to 23rd, 1942. Australia threatened. After a Japanese landing on Sarawak on December 16th, the British forces withdrew on January 1st. The Dutch Borneo, where they joined up with Netherlands troops, on the 10th, however, the enemy landed on Tarakan, Dutch Borneo, and also on North Celebes. The oil installations at Tarakan were destroyed by the Dutch before they were forced to surrender on the 13th. On the 22nd, after fresh enemy landings, the oil wells at Balikpapan on the east coast were destroyed to prevent them from falling into enemy hands. On the same day, landings were carried out on New Island and Rabaul, capital of New Britain, in the Bismarck Archipelago, thereby threatening New Guinea and bringing the war dangerously close to Australia. On the 23rd, heavy Japanese air raids were made on Laos, New Guinea, which were evacuated after the attack. The pictures show, top left. Oh boy, let me see if I can find it again. Yep, top left above. Blazing hangars at the airfield at Salamaua, not far from Lae. After a heavy Japanese raid, and below Balikpapan, oil wells blazing furiously after their voluntary destruction by the Dutch forces. The radioed picture above, I believe this one, top, a Japanese landing party somewhere in the Pacific. So it doesn't really say where, just, hey, look, here's a Japanese raiding party, and they're here, I guess, somewhere. We don't know where, but they're here. Interesting. This could be a staged picture, obviously, but who's to say? And then below, warships putting up a smokescreen to cover the landing by the Japanese. Yeah, obviously you want to have a smokescreen so the enemy can't really see where you guys are as they're getting closer. We'll finish up these 2 pages and then that'll be it. American troops land in Northern Ireland, January 26th, 1942. A new AEF prepares for action. On January 26th, the first U.S. troops to land in Britain since 1918 disembarked at a Northern Ireland port. They formed the vanguard of the American Expeditionary Forces to Europe, and they had been convoyed safely across the Atlantic by British and American warships. After disembarking, the troops marched to camps that had been prepared for their arrival. Soon, they were getting into battle trim by strenuous maneuvers over rough country. The pictures show above U.S. gun teams practicing with British artillery. They're like, hey guys, we're going to figure out how to do this. Come on, we can do it. Woohoo! And then below, infantry following heavy tanks during a mock battle. Yeah, obviously you want to have them well trained up, because if you have somebody well trained in a stressful situation, they'll go back on their training, because a lot of rational thought kind of goes away, because you're just like, oh, I'm in it, I have to do this now, I got to do this, or I might die or something. And so people will go back on their training, their instincts. So you have to make sure you get this deep in their head so they understand what to do in a stressful situation. The retreat to Singapore. Malaya evacuated January 30th to 31st, 1942. British setback. After a fighting retreat in the face of a numerically superior enemy who had almost undisputed control of the air, all the British forces of the Malayan mainland were withdrawn to Singapore Island on the night of January 30th to 31st. The operation covered by a stand south of Kulai by 3 Highland regiments who inflicted heavy casualties on the enemy. After the withdrawal, the causeway linking the island with the mainland was blown up. The map shows the stages of the Japanese advance, with inset of Malaya, retaliation in relation to surrounding territory and the Singapore Island. So there we can see over here, Songhim, there's Singapore all the way up there. There's Cape Potani. And we're saying they commenced an attack here. I think we actually have to go south. Or no, Singapore's up here. Right here. My bad. So yeah, we're going north and go south. There's Thailand, and yeah. So we have the December 8th Japanese attack. And this is the line. And then this is the next line, which is December 20th, December 30th, and then January 9th, January 19th, and January 29th. And you can see the Japanese obviously quickly, think about it, in only a month they cover this entire island. Right? Not island, it's part of the land, but you can see it right there. But it's like the little bit of the land here on Malaya. There's Sumatra and Borneo, so we have an idea of where everything is. And the Japanese have obviously landed here on Borneo. They have Burma, mostly. But, yeah. December 8th, HMS Prince of Wales and HMS Repulse sunk. But, yeah. And then January 30th to 31st, Empire withdrawal from the mainland to Singapore. So there's Singapore. And, yeah. It's a lot easier to defend this than all of this. So they're going to just do their best to hold out here in hopes that the enemy will not get to them. Will they? I guess we'll find out, won't we? That's going to do it for this video. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I can improve on. I always appreciate your feedback. And as always, subscribe. It really has been helping out the channel a lot, honestly. So thank you.